Hello, my name is Tom Crossroll from Pharma Excipients, and today we are introducing you the new high-temperature GranuPack with Philip Franqui from GranuTools.
Hello, Tom. Very nice to be here with you today with Pharma Excipients. Thanks a lot for giving us the opportunity to showcase our latest product, the high-temperature GranuPack, which is there.
You already have the classic GranuPack, but why did you invent the new high-temperature GranuPack?
So we invented this new high-temperature GranuPack for two reasons. First, to study the influence of the temperature on the packing dynamics of the powders, because as you know, industrial processes very often involves heating steps, which leads to modifications of the surface of the grains. You can have slight solid bridges created by pre-sintering effects. You can have also morphology variation on the surface of the grain, which will influence the friction forces, the way the particles get reorganized during the packing, and therefore the flowability. All of this can happen at temperatures very close to the room temperature, therefore far from the melting temperature, which makes it very important.
But how does the high-temperature GranuPack work exactly?
So it's quite straightforward. We measure the height of the powder bed during the packing of the powder. We use a high precision laser sensor to measure the height, which allows a very accurate and user-independent measurement of the packing after each tap. And then we can have access to the whole packing curves. And we can do this at each different temperature.
Oh, and what are the main differences to the classic GranuPack?
So on the application side, the only difference is the conditioning of the sample at a given temperature. And therefore, the bulk density, the tap density, Osner ratio, characteristic tap number and half still are measured, like on the classic GranuPack. On top of it, of course, we are investigating new indexes to study the effect of the temperature on the flowability. On the hardware side now, a lot has been redesigned to be able to study the effects of temperature as high as 200 degrees Celsius. Mm-hmm. And therefore, we have a heating cell, which is controlled directly by the software.
Yeah, and what are the main benefits of the high-temperature GranuPack?
So there are two main benefits. First, to study the influence of the temperature on the packing dynamics of the powders and therefore on the flowability of the powders. We look at the packing curves and we do this at various temperatures. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we can control the temperature and therefore we can use it as a quality control test so that we can always measure at the same temperature and therefore we can measure things alike.
Okay. And I'm thinking about products or use cases for which you are using it. For what do you need the high-temperature GranuPack exactly?
So this instrument has been applied to study polyamide 12 and TPUs, which are used tremendously in additive manufacturing of plastics. The results showed a huge influence on the temperature, on the packing behavior, which reflects the modifications on the microscopic properties of the powders. Even far below the melting temperature, we see that there is a big influence on Osner ratio, characteristic tap number and half. And we also designed a new index, like the slope index.
Nice. Are there more possible applications in the future?
And that's exactly the reason we are here today. There are a lot of applications in pharmaceutical fields, but there are also other fields like foods, metals, or even ceramics, which shows tremendous potential for the use of the high-temperature GranuPack.
why should I, or better the manufacturer, buy the high temperature GranuPack and not the classic one?
For two main reasons. First, to study the influence of the temperature on the flowability of powders, and secondly, to make sure that you can control the temperature when you do a quality control test to compare things alike.
Thank you very much, Philip from GranuTools.
Thank you very much, Tom. Very glad to be here with you today.